Hey y'all, it's time for part 4, and we've been joined here by my kitty, who got lonesome and wanted attention. So my kitty's name is Aiden. So Aiden, say hi to Aiden. Hi Aiden. Hi Aiden. Hope that wasn't too embarrassing. Probably was. So we've talked about how environment and genes both can affect traits. We talked about how some traits are affected by multiple different genes. We talked about how genes sometimes are located on sex chromosomes, which can have different results for males and females. And so now we look at the fact that genes can have multiple alleles, not just two, but several different versions. And each of those versions, each allele is going to may have a different relationship with each other. So one might be dominant to another one that might be recessive to it, but it might be codominant or incompletely dominant with another allele. So this makes things really kind of complicated, but also kind of cool. The example that is most relevant to us, I would say, is blood type. So here's some red blood cells. Your red blood cells have a cell membrane made of a phospholipid bilayer. And so here's an image of red blood cell phospholipid bilayers. Now you recall that phospholipid bilayers, cell membranes, have all kinds of stuff embedded in them, like transport proteins, etc. In addition to that, red blood cells also have something called antigens embedded in them. An antigen is something, typically a protein or a protein-like protein structure, that your immune system responds to. Either it recognizes it as normal, yes, this is part of you, good, or it recognizes it as foreign. So your red blood cells may look like any one of these four. Your body might make antigen A. That means just a specific shaped protein sticking out of the surface of your red blood cells. If it's here, it's represented by little blue round things. Using shapes is a good thing to model these antigens and proteins because, again, as you recall, shape determines function among proteins. So antigen A, little round things. Antigen B, you might make antigen B, which is represented here by purple triangle-y cone-like things. You might make both, in which case your red blood cells have both of these structures sticking out of its surface. Or you might not make any of them, in which case your red blood cells don't have any of these antigens in their cell membranes. So your body recognizes, your immune system recognizes whatever is usual for you. So if you are type A blood, that means your red blood cells have antigen A sticking out. Your body recognizes that shape and you're fine. If you're type B blood, that means your red blood cells only have those purple cones, and if you're type AB, that means you make both. Now, like I said, since it's related to what your immune system does, that's why you can't receive blood from somebody with different antigens from you. So for example, if you're type A, and you get blood from someone with type B or AB, then your immune system's going to say, whoa, we just like the blue round things. What's this purple triangle thing? It's a foreign invader. We need to mount an immune response. And since it's pervasive throughout your body, if it's a blood transfusion, it's everywhere, you die. If you have type O blood, your immune system is not used to any of these antigens. So if you receive blood from type A, type B, or type AB, you die. Bummer. And yet you can give, it's like the giving tree, right? You can give, but you never receive. So type O blood, because there are no antigens here, can give to anybody because there's no antigen on the surface for the immune system to freak out about. It's all good. So that's why type O is the universal donor. Because it can give, people with type O can donate to any of the other types. So here's a chart. It's not a Punnett square. It's not working out two individuals, but it does kind of show what the relationship between these alleles is. So for example, if you got a type A allele from your dad and a type A allele from your mom, then your genotype is big A, and you have blood type A. Well, that's pretty clear. If you got the A allele that makes the A antigen from your dad, say, and your mom was type O, and she passed on that O allele to you, then your genotype is AO, and you still have type A blood because you have some of that A antigen in your blood. So this chart sort of identifies what all the different allele combinations are, right? So these would be the genotypes here, and then the phenotype of what blood type you actually end up with. In terms of describing what those relationships are, it's said that A and B are codominant because you see both A and B phenotype. You see both fully when you look at the red blood cell. There's the A antigen and here's the B antigen. They're both completely there, so this is a codominant relationship between alleles A and B. However, you would say that A is dominant to O because if you have AO genotype and you still have type A blood, if you have type A blood, you might be homozygous or heterozygous for these alleles. So your genotype, there are two different genotypes you might have, AA or AO.